and this isn't memoir, like a semi-autobiographical, my book, in
Yeah.
that I draw on all the experiences. I certainly draw on real characters and use them as a basis for creating those other characters. And I knew that time, I set it back in a time that I was intimately familiar with. Um, in that way, it was semi-autobiographical, but story-wise,
Mm.
like I ran away from home when I was 21, which isn't really running away in the true sense. But I did want to run away when I was 15, and I had
Yeah.
a whole plot. I was going to ride at night, sleep at day, and ride my way across Australia to Sydney because I'd seen a
Wow.
documentary called Kids of the Cross that came out in '83, and it showed these homeless kids living in squats in King's Cross, and they were running around. And I didn't want to live their life, but I was fascinated by it. These kids at 15 had independent lives away from their parents and making their own decisions. And
Mhm.
growing up as a Jehovah's Witness,
Yeah.
knowing that I was gay, knowing that if I came out, everyone in my community and my family would all reject me. I started fantasizing about like leaving, and it couldn't make it happen though because I was very close to my mum, even though she was the first one to throw me under the bus.
Yeah.
In the end, as I knew would happen, but I kind of delayed that inevitability. So I imagined what it'd be like for a 15-year-old to get on a bike and run away, and then I
Mm.
guess, and then it kind of followed my life at that period somewhat from 1990 to 93 when I was 21 to 24.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and this handsome man on the cover, well, young, I don't want to be like inappropriate, but,
Oh,
a
well,
young adult man. Yeah.
he ends up as nearly 19 years old by the end of the
Okay,
novel.
okay,
So
okay. So he's of age. Okay, good. Because that's all I need. But I think that when you like knew you were gonna have a 15-year-old, like which direction did you want to take? Like, did you know you were gonna reach a certain point of the age, or you weren't gonna stay stuck in like call me by your name?
no, I didn't. It's strange because growing up as a Jehovah's Witness, and I'm not knocking the lot. I'm not knocking them as a religion almost
Hmm.
because it actually kept me safe from a lot of things and delayed. I guess if I'd got into stuff earlier, it might have been affected more by party drugs, for example.
Mm.
Um, but I don't. I think I was always going to something was going to happen. I was desperately wanting to make a career as a Jehovah's Witness. Like they encouraged me to leave school at 15, even though I had really high grades. So I did to go full time preaching. But then I got depressed, and then I lost the one part time job I had because it was really only a Christmas job. And then
Mm.
I was at home, and then Dad, who wasn't a Jehovah's Witness, he made me go out and get a job as a 16-year-old. And then I
Wow.
had money coming in, and then I had independence. But I was living this sort of parallel life where one hand I wanted to be,
Mm.
go to maybe Australian headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses and work there or become a missionary. On the other
Mm.
hand, I had this parallel life of a gay person, and I had no idea what that meant or how I would live. Both promised paradise in a way. Jehovah's Witnesses, a literal paradise on earth, coming out as the paradise of freedom, of true
Yeah.
freedom,
Yeah.
whatever that means. And that's, I guess, what the book explores. But at some point, yeah, by 21, I couldn't make them both work, and I was
Mm.
swinging like a really strong metronome one way to the other. I was having secret gay sex in sex clubs, and then going preaching the next morning
Wow.
against that type of thing, until I couldn't. Obviously, I had something I had to give. So it meant me going to Sydney, and within a few weeks, I had cut association with Jehovah's Witnesses and moved house and become anonymous and cut my family off because I knew that
Mm.
they'd cut me off. So I couldn't handle them cutting me off. So I felt more powerful by cutting them off. And that went for
Yeah.
2 years. It probably became like a missing person, and they had to find me
Wow.
through TV show and
Yeah.
national newspapers.
Yeah. Wait, do you still have a relationship? Is that okay to ask with your
Oh no,
family
yeah,
or?
no, they not no, they don't. The witness. So out of the three sisters I have, one's no longer a witness. So it's my mum and two sisters. They wait for me to contact them. They won't
Mm.
contact me. So it's what relationship I want to make of it
Yeah.
is worked out at the moment. So, but for a while they did literally cut me off, and um, I don't know. It's been ebbing and flowing, and it's
Yeah.
like a. They talk about PTSD, like because but post-traumatic is great because it means that the trauma has ended. Right, you post it
Mm.
and you can move on. Religious trauma syndrome disorder is different because it's ongoing. It's like a wound that never heals because every time you contemplate any kind of relationship with your parents who are still alive or your sisters, you know that they're not going to talk to you or want to talk to you or volunteer to talk to you. So you're just dealing with that constantly, constant rejection reminders, which is
Mm.
doable. In the end, you can
Yeah.
like cope with anything.